A very good weekend for the Cubs, a very excellent week for the Cubs. We recap it all coming up next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show and be a part of our community here by following on your preferred audio platform. And you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Cubs win 2 out of 3 against the Orioles, finished the homestand 5-1 as the Northsiders have won 7 of their last 9 games. With myself in attendance, the Cubs crushed the Orioles on Friday 10-3. I'm now 3-0 on the season. Cubs posted a nice close victory Saturday 3-2 and then finished Sunday with a 6-3 loss. A lot of places that we can start, Sam. Kyle Hendricks was impressive again. Justin Steele, nice return. Impressive bullpen. Horner clutch hit Saturday. Sunday just coming up a little bit short, but all around a good week for the Northsiders.
Great week. Key week. A week that they had to have if we were going to have. I mean, if you just look at the board right now, if you're watching on YouTube, we're not going to have an Around the NL Central segment if the Cubs don't go 5-1 this week, but they did. So now it's time to scoreboard watch. Now it's time to talk about other teams, and they did that. Congrats to them. They deserve a lot of credit. As far as the weekend goes, Friday was more of the same. Saturday, our listeners know this. You know this. If you had to guess what my favorite game of the homestand was, it's Saturday. There's nothing that fires me up more than, hey, your offense isn't going to score 10 runs every game. That's just not realistic. Right. Sometimes they're going to come up short. You got to just grind your way to victory with pitching, relief pitching, defense, a sac fly, stuff like that. It was just beautiful. 12 outs by the new back end of the Chicago Cubs bullpen, Julian Merriweather, Mark Leiter Jr., and Adbert Alzolay, which was beautiful. Then Sunday was a pretty expected loss, right? It's just to sweep it. I mean, I don't think Baltimore has been swept this season. I think I saw that.
Wow.
So they're a very difficult team to sweep. Cubs had some opportunities. Jamison Tyone is just not very good right now. Right. I don't really know what else to say. I thought there were some questionable things, but you also have to remember the Cubs' 2-run homer from Christopher Morel, that came off of a misplay on a foul ball, followed by a misplay in right field that was deemed an error. So they even had a break to get those runs. Jamison Tyone, you got $68 million, and every time I watch him pitch, every out just feels like a relief. And if you look at his reaction, he tells you he's relieved. Like it's survival mode for him now.
He labors so much.
Yeah. So great weekend. 2 out of 3 against Baltimore, never going to complain. And we'll talk about, the keys to continuing this, but overall it's really good. And like Sunday's loss doesn't bother me that much because you're not going to win any games, or at least a very few many games, when Nico, Seiya, Ian, Dansby, Bellinger. Those are your 5 guys. Morel has been unbelievable as a supporting cast member. And if he continues to hit like this, then what I'm about to say is not true. Mike Tauchman has been unbelievable as a supporting cast member. But those 5 gentlemen I mentioned, those are the 5 kind of core guys to this team. When they combine for 1 hit, you're not going to win.
Right. And it was a win in itself having Cano and Batista only pitch the last 7 outs of the series. When they came in, they did great.
When they come in, you lose.
Yeah. And so, Friday was fun. It was a surprise considering the day after night game. And just that the Orioles were coming into town first time in a while, and the Cubs just bashed the baseball around the park. 12 hits, 3 homers, and 2 doubles of the 12 hits. It was, it was a hit parade out there. Just kept going around the bases. To me, it looked like, besides excluding, a few pitches, but really one pitch to Rutschman Saturday, it looked to me like Justin Steele missed no time.
None.
I don't know how else to put that.
None.
He missed 2.5 weeks. It looked like he missed 0.
He looked
And
like
so
he
that
missed
was
0.
really encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
To have a pitcher that's pitched at such a high level, he comes back against one of the best teams in the sport, and he's great. Horner with the clutch hit, a little bit of manufacturing a run there to for the go-ahead tally.
Not
on
a little
Saturday. And then the bullpen, even a week ago, would you visualize the bullpen getting a final 12 outs of a game, like in a one-run game? There's no way. So what they were able to do this week, we were told for months that this team was going to be built on pitching and defense. Those two things are starting to take shape, and now the offense is coming along.
Yeah.
And so it was a big week in that respect.
Yeah. And the offense carried it for most of it. They scored almost 10 runs a game going into the weekend.
Yeah.
The offense's challenge is to just try and stay as consistent as possible. And they're going to be as consistent as those 5 guys I mentioned. I mean, that's just how it goes. And last week at this exact time, literally almost to the time of day that we're recording, I said, if you want a little bit of optimism, those 5 guys, although I didn't mention Bellinger because he wasn't back, so the 4 main guys, they're not as bad as they're playing. They're going to start hitting. And for the most part, outside of Suzuki, they really did all week. Here's what I'll say now. If you want more optimism, these guys, particularly these 3 gentlemen, Seiya, Suzuki, Ian Happ, and Dansby Swanson, have way more power in their bats than they are displaying right now.
I hope so.
You have 7 home runs, I believe, from Dansby. I think it's 6 from Seiya and 5 from Happ. Those 3 guys should be able to get to 20. Suzuki's hitting the ball really hard, but with no elevation.
20 each, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
20 each, yeah.
Well, no, if the total's 20, you could end the season.
Kiss it goodbye.
Yeah. Happ had a much better week. Dansby's the one guy that I think kind of has just been hurt with luck. I mean, he's hit a lot of balls on the barrel that just haven't gone out. But the power stroke for those guys, I mean, even if it's just, if Seiya could just hit like 3 or 4 in a 10-game stretch, it would just give this team such a lift because Morel and Tauchman are playing out of their minds right now. And so, Bellinger's also coming back. I think people with Bellinger got to remember, I'm starting to already hear the excuse of, yeah, he was great before he got hurt. He was struggling before he got hurt.
Right before he got hurt.
Offensively. He was coming down. So let's not use that. Let's see if he can get right. That ball that was initially ruled a triple today.
That got changed?
That got changed to an error, and I think rightfully so. But that was a good swing. And then his swing against Bautista was really impressive, even though he made an out. So hopefully he's on the turn to the positive way. If they can get just a couple of those guys power stroke going, they're going to hit for a while.
Well, I do have a little bit of a surprise for you. So here's a 55-second clip from last Monday's show, and then I have a question for you. Listen to this.
4-6 road trip and 10 games out west normally would be a fine result, but when you're in the midst of being one of the worst teams in the NL, it's not.
Well, for this team now, where they're at, I think there would have been a slight tone change if they won Sunday.
Sure. Or a game in Anaheim.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they had already messed that up. So even just this weekend, the 3 games, there would have been a tone change. And just overall now, even moving forward, before you get into the concerns, I'll feel differently. And again, I'll enjoy the moments game by game. But again, big picture, I will feel differently after a win streak. So 3 straight is a win streak.
Yeah.
And I'll feel a lot different. I have the number 5 in mind. If they rattled off 5 in a row, that would elicit a tone change. So, Sam, they did win 5 in a row this week. And as they enter a new week now, do you feel any different?
Well, I feel really bad about my hair. And the fact that was just 1 week ago makes me kind of sick.
And hopefully I'm not getting sick, though.
Yeah, I would say 100% there's been a tone change. And
Right?
I think my whole thing last week was sweep Pittsburgh and let's talk.
You did. You said it wouldn't even take 5 for you. Just sweep Pittsburgh and you'll get the white flag away.
Yeah, and the tone has been changed. I mean, we don't have to have some big announcement every time they do something. Our actions speak louder than our words. The tone has been changed. I know you're really back on everything. I mean, you were really excited.
Well, there's nothing like a win streak for your baseball team.
And now it's about, was this a blip in the radar good week, or can we rattle off like 15 out of 22? You know,
right.
24 out of 33, stuff like that. And it starts this week, and we're going to get into that. It starts this week.
All right, let's go around the division first, because there's a certain team that's starting to scare us, I do believe, and we reveal who that is next. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. The Cubs play the Pirates at perhaps the best first pitch time in baseball. 6:05 p.m. Central Monday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Cubs or tune in to channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on SiriusXM. Would you say 6:05 is the best, or maybe even like a 5:40 tilt?
No.
You'd say 7:05?
Yeah, well, I like to be done with work when the games are on.
Sure.
So 5:40, definitely not. I think for me,
right.
7:05 would probably be the best for me. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going around the NL Central.
All right. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. 6:05, I'm still kind of, finishing up stuff.
You're like maybe like on a food run after work.
Yeah, 7:05, I could kick the feet up, have myself a beverage, watch a game, and just kind of decompress. It's not 5:40, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
that.
I just tried to sneak that in, dude.
No, and the midday, like the Wednesday at 11:35,
oh.
that's a zero for me.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
That's a zero for me. So
Brewers are in first place in the NL Central, 37-34. Reds are 37-35, just a half game back. Pirates 34-36, 2.5 back. Cubs 33-38, 4 back. Cardinals 29-43, 8.5 back. Over the weekend, the Brewers swept the Pirates. The Reds swept the Astros and are now winners of 8 straight games. Pirates were swept by the Brewers and are now losers of 6 straight. And the Cardinals won 2 out of 3 over the Mets. And, of course, the Cubs won 2 out of 3 over the O's. So, unless you're the Pirates, a good weekend in the NL Central.
Yeah.
And what stands out to you around the division? Because there is a lot of good baseball being played all of a sudden.
Yeah, of course, the Cubs have their first awesome week in a while. And the Reds don't lose once. Cubs actually lost ground on the Reds. The Cubs went 5-1. The Reds did not lose a game.
Right.
They are officially scaring me.
Well, they have the combination of pieces.
McLean, Steer, Fraley, India, Friedel, add De La Cruz.
All young guys.
All young hitters. They're hungry. I still think they will hit a rough patch, but
and do the young pitchers hold up?
My allergies are just through the roof. Do the young pitchers hold up? Milwaukee's Milwaukee. They're always going to be there. They're going to hang around and be annoying because that's what they do. Pittsburgh, it's unfortunate that the Cubs have to play them again because you know how I feel about a team on a 6-game losing streak, especially when the first half of the 6 games, you swept them 4 days ago. And now you have to play them again, and they're calling up one of their better guys. It's just really tough. But
Sure.
it is what it is. But I think this division is better than what people think. It just doesn't have a really solid elite team, but it's much better than the American League Central with Detroit, Kansas City, and the White Sox. Those are 3 bad baseball teams. Cleveland's kind of jumbled in, and then Minnesota's, jumbled as well. This is Cincinnati's jumbled, Milwaukee's jumbled, Pittsburgh, us, and then St. Louis is the worst team, and they have the most talent. So it's not a good division, but it's a pesky division.
I think the Reds might have elite talent. I don't know if they have, the talent to win the division this year, or the opportunity, or the not necessarily the will to do it. But I just think their pieces right now, to me, are the most impressive.
Right.
I don't know how that sustains over time, but I do think for this year, that could be where they take advantage of a weak division.
Right.
I don't know what their window is, if this is even year one of it, but they seem to me to jump out the most. Not saying they have star power yet. Again, a lot of guys in their first or second year, but it's just a lot of tools that jump off the page. And 8 straight wins, including 3 over the best franchise in the sport the last 8 years, is no joke to me.
Yeah. This is going to be a topsy-turvy, up and down run. I just want the Cubs to be a part of it. I told you guys a lot at the beginning of the year when I said this team was underachieving, and I was so frustrated. It was because there's no reason they shouldn't be in the conversation if the division has this low of a win total. Now, if St. Louis was what a lot of teams thought, or a lot of people thought they could be, which is a 95, 96 win type team, then that's totally understandable. But if the winner of this division is going to be between 82 and 85, the Cubs should at least be in it for a really long time. And the good news is if the Cubs are in it, they have some stretches that you really like in August and late July and into August, right?
Okay.
And so even if they're like 2-3 games out, they got homestand, they play the Reds, they play the White Sox at home, they play Kansas City, then they go to Detroit, then they play Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, right? They've had some really tough stretches, and they have another one coming up in a couple of weeks where they go to Milwaukee and to Yankee Stadium. But if they
before
could just,
the break,
if they could just hang in there, right, a little bit,
sure,
there's a chance to stack some games towards the end of the year.
Right. Well, that's what's a little bit irritating. When I was tracking some games on the way to a Father's Day meal today, it just bothered me, the early season defeats, because it's like you're almost not even in a position to do this, right, or you should be in a position where you're looking down at teams, really. Right. We could count off 3 games easy they should have won, and that's just why it's a little bit irritating.
Last homestand of the season at home versus Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh, this is such a long view.
At home versus Pittsburgh, at home versus Colorado. Think about it. If you just go into those series and even if you're 3.5 out, you'll be right in it.
I love you.
Just saying. Sometimes you got to look at that stuff, man.
I know you. And you certainly have. You just did.
Yeah. So.
All right. Okay. I guess I'm cracking myself up.
No, it's just I just want to be in it.
And they are.
Right now they are.
They are. The Pirates might not be after they see the Cubs this week.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We talk about that next. We're back here on Locked On Cubs. Thank you whenever and wherever you may be listening to this Monday episode. Cubs with 3 big games in Pittsburgh this week. 6:05, 6:05, and 11:35 a.m. Smiley against Beto. Heard that one before.
Right.
Stroman versus Oviedo. Heard that one. And a new one in that finale with Pancakes. Hendricks against Hill. Sam, you got 2 repeat matchups, which I know you don't like.
at all.
First of all, Beto, 1 run on 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 6 last week.
Yeah.
But he threw 91 pitches in 4 innings. I think they could score more off this dude.
For sure.
And in terms of the totality of the series, you could I know they lost 6 straight, right? They're not gonna they're not gonna win. They're not gonna lose 9 straight. It's up to the Cubs right now, dude, to put these guys into the ground. They've lost 6 straight, lose 9 straight.
Yeah.
You could break their will right now.
Yeah.
6 for as well as they've done to go 6-game losing streak against 2 division teams. They're already way down. Let's just keep the hammer going.
Sure.
I think these matchups are pretty favorable, just like they were last week. It was encouraging the traffic they created on against Oviedo. We'll see if they could do that Tuesday. But I think that Monday game, and I'm guessing you're going to say this now, is critical to lead off the 3 games.
Critical. It's a momentum game. You win Monday night, and it's like, hey, the Cubs are really playing good ball. You lose Monday night, and it's like, well, the Cubs have now dropped 2 in a row. This is a very important series. I am not searching for a sweep. I'm searching for a series win. Okay. And then you get 2 days off. So you got to use those 2 days off as an advantage, right? So hopefully you could win one of these first 2. And if you could win one of these first 2 in comfortable fashion, that Wednesday game should be all hands on deck. Owls alive for 2 if you need it. Lighter for 2 if you need it. Merriweather could throw 30 pitches because you have literally – you have to take that 2-day advantage. Yes, I understand you're going to be traveling and you might have jet lag, yada, yada, but you're not going to be pitching. So
it's unique. Yeah.
You have to take that schedule to an advantage and do whatever you can to come out with a series win to keep that momentum alive, and it starts Monday. I agree with you on the Beto side of things. If I remember that game correctly, I was so disappointed that they didn't do more, and then that was the game that they had the big comeback on Contreras. I think that was who came in after.
Yeah.
So I agree there. Smiley struggled in that game. He was able to get through 6. My concern with Smiley is he's kind of a 2-trick pony, right? It's fastball, curve. If you figure that out, he doesn't really have a plan C or D.
No.
And so they figured him out pretty good already. So how is he going to respond?
Right. Especially if they don't swing at the curveball.
Right. If they don't swing at the curveball, then what? They're calling up one of their better prospects.
Oh, that's right. Henry Davis is up.
Yeah. So they're going to be taking this seriously.
Yeah.
But the Cubs are a better team than the Pirates. They have better players.
Right.
I said that after the first game of last series.
Right.
So they have to go out there and execute and keep to me, Monday's everything. If they win Monday, they'll win one of the final 2 and they'll be in good shape. So Monday will be a very big game. And I just, me, I just don't like, I don't care who it is. I don't like playing professional teams that are on long losing streaks. It's just, remember last year, the Braves came in here on a 14-game win streak. We had a 10-game losing streak and we beat them 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it's so strange.
I don't like that, but you're right. It's on the Cubs. It's a baseball game. They got to go out and execute. Smiley's been trending in the wrong direction lately, so hopefully he could right the ship. And then you make a good point on Beto because I remember that 91 pitches, and it just felt like, how did he get out of this?
Correct.
The way he did. So hopefully they could jump on him. I would expect the same lineup, except probably Gomes for Amaya tomorrow or Monday night, and hopefully they could flex their power muscles. Hopefully one of our main guys, hopefully Seiya Suzuki, could get going, man.
Yeah, some PNC Park home runs. That's such a nice park, by the way. You have to get out there one of these days.
Well, and do we have a weather report?
I don't believe so.
Oh, well, let me just quickly make sure there's no rain in the forecast, and there isn't at all. So it's gonna be warm.
Right.
It's gonna be 86. All right, enough, dude.
So 86. Wow, warm.
Yeah, it's gonna be warm. Usually it rains when we travel to the Steel City.
Right. So, all right, big week for the Cubs.
And if I look tired, there's no foul play, folks. I'm just looking. Sometimes I just look down. I don't know what to say. Please stop commenting that. That's not me. I am as alert as can be. I just look fatigued because I'm fatigued a lot.
Okay, thank you for that disclaimer.
No, it's just I get upset when I see that, man.
All right, big game Monday. Perhaps we go live after that win.
Oh yeah, well that's up to you.
Okay,
I'd like to go live 7 days a week if it were up to me.
7 days.
I would have liked to be live after Tyone gave up another base hit.
Oh yeah, let me just sneak this in here. I don't want to see Tyone pitch in London, dude.
Well,
I'm gonna wake up for that 9 a.m. first pitch on Sunday. He's gonna take the ball.
Well, sleep in.
Start Wisniewski or something, man.
Sleep in.
Have Tyone pitch the start of the homestand the following week.
Maybe they'll hide his passport.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week. And you can become an everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods on the audio side and streaming on SiriusXM. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.